what is happening in Bangladesh is utterly amazing. There is no other example in world history in recent times of a country which has freed itself from colonization by West Punjabi rapacious looters and rulers who had sucked the blood out of Bangladesh for almost half a century, right, and more. And they had to fight for their freedom. Thousands of Mukti Jodhas had laid down their lives. 3,870 officers, JCOs and men of the Indian Armed Forces had laid down their lives to free Bangladesh from the tyranny of Pakistan and its vicious army. This army had started a crackdown in Dhaka in March 1971, Operation Searchlight. Those of you who weren't born then, I would like you to read a book by an American called Archer Blood, The Telegram. The Blood Telegram, as it is famous all over the world, who was the American consul in Dhaka, and from where he had given eyewitness accounts of the kind of genocide that was perpetrated by the Pakistan army. As per the Hamudur Rahman Commission of Inquiry report of a Pakistani judge, 3 million Bangladeshis were killed, 1 million women were raped, 10 million refugees were pushed out of Bangladesh into India. And that had created such an economic crisis for us that we had no option but to create conditions for these refugees to go back. And that is how the 1971 war for Bangladesh had started. Even at that time, I am an eyewitness. My batch, we had just been commissioned from IMA Dehradun on 14th November and we had been pushed into battle. So, even at that time in Bangladesh, there were some about 20-30% minority of the Jamaat-e Islami who were absolutely pro-Pakistan based upon religious ideology. They did not want Pakistan to go, and they in fact became Razakars. They were given arms by the Pakistan army to fight against their own people, to fight and kill the Mukti Jodhas. And worse, this is an ignominy, a shame. I don't think any nation can live it down. These Razakars were acting as pimps for the Pakistan army. They were pimping for the Pakistan army, getting women, Bengali women, for them to rape. Can you sink lower than that? And it is the grandsons of those same very bloody Razakars who fought against their own country's liberation, emancipation, decolonization, who are now trying to make Bangladesh back into East Pakistan. They want to become part of their erstwhile colonizers again. They want to get back to being a colony. I mean, it is utterly amazing. It is unprecedented. Never in the global history have we heard of such a tamasha of a country that after an intense freedom struggle lasting actually over decades, they had freed themselves finally, and now they want to merge back. Now they want to merge back because the Jamaat-e Islami has created a street revolution with the help of the CIA and the ISI. You know, it is important to understand how all this has happened. What right has Muhammad Yunus, what locus standi has Muhammad Yunus to rule in Dhaka? Has he won any election? Which election has he won? When? Where was it held? The election had given the clear verdict to Hasina Wajed, the former, who is still the Prime Minister of of Bangladesh. And the fact is that she has been so recognized. She was one of the first leaders to call on Donald Trump, and he spoke to her as the serving Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Donald Trump has been one of the first people to speak against the atrocities being done against the Hindus in Bangladesh. So has Tulsi Gabbard from the United States, new administration which is to come in. They have spoken against this. The fact is that Muhammad Yunus was parachuted from Washington into Dhaka direct. No election, no democratic process, nothing. The Democrats wanted him there. Why did they want him here? In 2016, when Hillary Clinton was standing up for election, Muhammad Yunus had given crores of rupees in terms of dollars to her election campaign. This is how he was misusing the funds which he had swindled from the poor people, Grameen Bank of Bangladesh, from the poor villagers of Bangladesh. The money that he had swindled, he had now put into Hillary Clinton's election war chest. Quite obviously, she was standing up against Donald Trump, and Donald Trump didn't like it one bit. And therefore he is not at all well disposed or happily disposed towards Mr. Muhammad Yunus, the parachuted so-called Prime Minister, Chief Executive of Pakistan. But we thought he was at least a decent human being. We thought he is an educated person with a Nobel Peace Prize to boot. So we thought possibly he will bring peace to Bangladesh, the chaos that was unleashing in Bangladesh. It now turns out that this man is a facade. This man is a puppet, worse than a puppet of the Jamaat-e-Islami, which has gone berserk in Pakistan. These are the grandchildren of the Razakars, of the pimps of the Pakistan army, who are now trying to re-merge, make Bangladesh, East Pakistan, and re-merge it with an economically collapsing Pakistan on the brink of economic meltdown and worse. Here is a nation which can't give 2 square meals a day to its citizens. It is going with a begging bowl to the IMF, to the United States, to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to the Emirates, and wherever, to China, to get loans to pay back its loans. That is the chaotic state of affairs in Pakistan. And here is Bangladesh, former East Pakistan, former colony of Pakistan, which under Hasina Wajed had started doing so well economically. There was peace and quiet, there was calm, there was prosperity in Bangladesh. Their garment industry, ready-made garment industry was doing so well, and by 2015, the per capita GDP of Bangladesh had overtaken that of Pakistan, its erstwhile colonizers. By 2021, in fact, they had taken over the per capita GDP of even India. They were doing so well economically. But the Jamaat-e-Islami is not happy with doing well economically. They don't want to do well economically. They want jihadi, chaos, anarchy, violence. They want the freedom to slit the throats of people, hang them by their feet by telephone wires, burn houses, rape women. That is the kind of chaos, anarchy their grandfathers had tried to visit upon then East Pakistan and help the Pakistan army in its genocide. And today they want to restore Pakistan to that state of anarchy, chaos, and absolute, free for all. An absolute free for all and a total, chaotic state. Now, when the Jamaat-e-Islami, so-called Green Revolution took place with the help of the CIA and the help of the ISI. ISI, you will say, yes, the ISI was directly involved. General Asim Munir, the chief of the Pakistan army, had gone to United States. Apart from meeting the generals in the Pentagon and all the uniformed officers, he had also met Victoria Nuland, the architect of the Maidan coup in Ukraine, the architect of so many colored revolutions in Europe and elsewhere in the Middle East. And that time she was working to try and create a similar colored revolution in Bangladesh. You see, the fact is that Pakistan was involved up to its neck in this, in trying to help the CIA. The CIA needed the ISI's contacts with the Jamaat-e-Islami and the networks that the ISI had established over the years in Bangladesh, and they utilized them perfectly to try and create this colored revolution on the streets of Bangladesh. Absolute undemocratic coup to overthrow a duly elected, legally constituted government of Bangladesh of Hasina Wajid, right? And with the help of this revolt now, they found that they had unleashed the genie of chaos from the bottle. You can very easily unleash chaos. It's so nice for the school kids of Bangladesh to go around looting Hasina Wajid's Prime Minister's house, run away with her saris and blouses and also her furniture. But the simple fact is that how long will you keep doing this? How long will you keep live on fresh air and chaos and anarchy? How long will you just loot the house of the Home Minister and the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh and force the Chief Justice to resign? It sounds very heady, sounds very giddy revolution, that we can do anything that we want, kill anybody that we want, slit anyone's throat, burn temples, loot houses, rape women, kill the Hindus, drive them out. Now it is getting worse and worse and worse, because you can unleash the genie of chaos, you can't put it back into the bottle. You can't put it back into the bottle, and that is what is creating the problem. There is chaos and anarchy on the streets of all the towns and cities of Bangladesh. It is now being directed against the Hindu minorities, which at one time used to be 22% of the population of Bangladesh. Now it is left about 8%, and they want to drive this 8% out. And look at the hostility that they are trying to display. Look at their, the great eruption of love for their former colonizers in Pakistan. They want to let them come in visa free. They don't want any security checks. Pakistan is jihadistan. Any terrorist act anywhere in the world, you can trace the wires back to Pakistan. You want to let them come in without security checks? Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, cartoon networks to come and establish themselves in Bangladesh. I mean, if Bangladesh wants chaos, that is their problem. But that is not what these people will come into Bangladesh for. Don't forget the fact that Bob Woodward and the others, they wanted to create a cookie land on our northeastern borders. The Americans, were interested in making a Christian cookie land on the Indo-Myanmar border, and for which the arms are being supplied via Pakistan. One of their big ships came and sent a consignment full of arms and weapons, which has been sent to Pakistan. Turkey has supplied Barkat-e drones, which Bangladesh is flaunting against India. We'll make mincemeat out of you with the Barkat-e drones. Sure, we are scared. I mean, this is a cartoon network. This country is descending into chaos and anarchy. But in the bargain, they are creating problems for their neighbors. All the minorities in Bangladesh today are under threat. Whether the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Christian churches are being destroyed, Hindu temples are being destroyed. The ISKCON chief in Bangladesh was put under arrest. Then he was the person the lawyer who came to defend him, he was murdered. Now no lawyer is coming forth to defend him. He can't get bail. He is in jail. They are attacking ISKCON temples. I mean, how long are we going to bear this? This utter nonsense, provocation after provocation. How long will all this last? That is the key question. You see, and there is a limit to India's patience. India is now sending its foreign secretary to Bangladesh to try and talk things out and talk sense into this country run riot? It's not a country anymore. It is a jihad outfit and on the loose. And these jihadi outfits, if they confine their chaos to their own country, it is okay. That's your choice. You don't want economic progress. You don't want peace and prosperity. You want jihadi chaos, anarchy and violence. That's your choice. But you can't export it to India. You can't push out your Hindu minorities to India. There will be a comeback. There will be a big comeback. Right? There'll have to be a slash back for what you are trying to create chaos for India. So what are India's options? Look, India's one option is that there are about 14 crores illegal Bangladeshi migrants floating around in India. So far we had kept quiet because the Hasina Wajid government was very friendly to us, very supportive of our interests. We had very good relations with the Bangladeshis, with the Mukti Jodhas. We had fraternal relations, Indian Army and the Mukti Jodhas. But now there is a new theme song. There is an absolutely new theme song. So please tell me, if Bangladesh wants to be inimical, hostile and wants to ensure that there is enmity between the two nations, why should we not pay Bangladesh back in the same coin? Why should we not? Why should we not, like Donald Trump, identify all the illegal Bangladeshi migrants and deport them back to Bangladesh? If Bangladesh dares to, do ethnic cleansing of the Hindu minority, we've had enough. We've seen ethnic cleansing in Kashmir. We're not prepared to see more ethnic cleansing of Hindus just because you are meek and quiet and you mind your business. So if Bangladesh does that, I think it is time to read out the Riot Act to Bangladesh, that if you are going to be hostile, so will we be. We will pay you back in your own coin. You will get tit for tat, right? For every hostile move that you make, you will be paid back in your own coin. You can't afford to alienate India, which is your economic backwaters. Your jute industry, if you were growing the jute, the mills were in Calcutta, right? Today, if you are becoming you are becoming prosperous because of the ready-made garment industry, the cloth and every thing comes from India. The entire raw materials are coming from India. So it is a symbiotic relationship, and you think you can break it and still do well or survive, you are seriously heading for problems, serious problems. And if you dare to push out the Hindu minority, drive them out of your country, do genocide, like you had done in 1971, then one very clear option for India is, and it will help us secure our Siliguri corridor, the Rangia Kushtiya thumb that sticks out towards Siliguri and gives us a very narrow border corridor which China is threatening and a lot of other non-state actors are threatening to cut. Well, we can broaden that by capturing that entire swathe of territory, south of the Siliguri corridor, and we will resettle the Hindu minorities that you have thrown out into that corridor. One, India will secure forever its vulnerability of the Siliguri corridor, and number two, the Hindu minorities will have a safe place to stay. A land where they can live in peace and quiet and practice and preach their own religion and faith. We've had enough of the world slaughtering Hindus. We have had enough of Hindu holocausts. We are not prepared for another Hindu holocaust. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.